The Mexican-American War was fought in what is currently the southwestern United States and Mexico. This war was a defining time for Americans. The U.S. sent General Zachary Taylor in June of 1845 to the border of Texas to defend from Mexican invasion. To keep the border under control, Mr. Polk sent naval fleets to the California ports if Mexico happened to declare war. Then in 1846, Mexico passed the U.S. boundary, invaded U.S. territory, and shed American blood on their own soil. Mr. Polk was outraged. Next, a young Whig named Abraham Lincoln questioned Mr. Polk about the border incident. On December 22, 1847, he declared the Spot Resolutions, accusing Mr. Polk of misleading the Congress and maneuvering the country into a war. The war that had begun divided Congress, with some Whigs believing that the president misled Congress into fighting an unnecessary war. Mr. Polk saw this war as a way to gain territory. This was Mr. Polk's war. In the year 1846, Polk sent General Zachary Taylor into northeastern Mexico. Taylor quickly took the cities of Palo Alto in May and the city of Monterey in September. The victory at Palo Alto led to the largest gathering ever held in Lowell, Massachusetts. Taylor's troops were attacked in February 1847 at Buena Vista. Luckily, Taylor's troops were able to fight off the attack despite being outnumbered. A short amount of time later, Winfield Scott launched an attack on Veracruz by land and sea and captured the coastal city almost immediately. General Scott struggled to reach Mexico City, trudging through 6 months of Mexican resistance and guerrilla raids. In September, General Scott was able to take the city, with Mexican resistance coming to a stop. With more and more American casualties, some of Scott's troops acted a little out of hand toward Mexicans. General Scott's men marched all the way to Mexico City and brought Nicholas Trice with them. Nicholas Trice held Polk's terms of peace, written on the Treaty of Guadalupe, Hidalgo. Signed on February 2, 1848, the treaty granted the U.S. California and New Mexico. The United States agreed to pay Mexico $15 million and assumed close to $2 million in individual claims against the nation. But Mr. Polk had wanted more and truly thought he could receive it. Polk had sent someone else after Scott's victory to seek greater rewards, but Trice had ignored this. Polk and fellow supporters of further expansion used the phrase, all Mexico. Polk wanted more, but all he got was the land from the treaty, the Mexican Cession. The Gadsden Purchase was added in 1853 and bought from Mexico for $10 million. This purchase was made to facilitate a southern transcontinental railroad route, though Polk's real plan was to annex the heart of Mexico. The Mexican-American War was the first war in which reporters for the press were on the premises. Journalists started to shape the public's view of the war, as opposed to earlier years when politicians' opinions shaped the public view of the war. The Mexican-American War was vital to modern-day America. In the 3 years of the war, the U.S. grew by 70%. Mr. Polk led the Americans into a battle for land, and he came out on top.